Hello, welcome to my video where I'm going to discuss what a weighted average is. Now, this is based off of my 10C current weighting, coursework and quiz and whatever category weighting. But this applies to any class. If you have the category weightings and you know the marks in the different categories, you can solve for your overall mark. So I highly recommend that you try this out for yourself on any of your courses to make sure that the course outline aligns with how PowerSchool is marking your stuff. But even if you're not going to do that, this is a useful tool in life in general to understand what a weighted average is. It's just a way of weighting one thing more heavily than another. So with all that in mind, let's get started into this question. Let's talk about a more general example before we hop into the school example. So actually recently, yesterday, I was just doing a weighted average to calculate the number of average minutes a day for a normal school class. Okay, so at our school currently we have 72-minute blocks. Okay. And those happen 4.5 times a week. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then every second Thursday. So that is 4.5 times a week. So this weighting is being given 4.5 times. Okay, actually it's better yet just to think about this. It works with 4.5, but let's just think about it as 4. Let's ignore the Thursdays, keep it simple. So let's just pretend there are no Thursday half days. So it happens 4 times a week. However, there is one extra day a week when we have 60-minute blocks. So this is easiest to think about if it's a different school with a simpler schedule than our current school. But a lot of schools will do this where they have, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. I saw a school with 89 minutes for all of those. That's 4 days a week. And then they have one day a week where they do, and I'm going to do it this side. And then they have one day a week where they do 51 minutes. So this is 51 minutes on a Thursday. So every other day of the week, they have 89 minutes. On a Thursday, they have 51 minutes. Now, normally, if you guys were probably thinking about this, to do an average for a daily thing, it's 4 days, 1 day. Normally, what I suspect most of you would do is you'd go 89 plus 89 plus 89. So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Friday. Or actually, maybe you do Thursday first. So 51 for Thursday. And then you do Friday, which is 89. And then you divide by the number of days that there are. So you divide by 5. And this certainly does work. But why would you do this? You'll notice that we have how many 89s here? We have 4 89s. So if you just multiply 89 by 4, what we're doing is we're giving 89 a weighting of 4. So it has a weighted average of 4, and the other part, the other day, is the 51, and only has a weighted average of 1. So 4 plus 1 is 5, and that's going to give you your total. So let's go ahead and simply calculate that. So 4 times 89 plus 1 times 51. Oh, whoops. I forgot to divide by 5. And we're going to get the answer of 81.4. So that's how many minutes on an average day that those other schools have. Keeping in mind that Thursdays are shortened. Okay, so that is an important way of looking at it. It's basically we're just taking those things and we're counting them like 4 times, and that's why the 4 is being put out in front. So let's go back to a weighted average with a course. So what we're going to do is we're going to first find the average for each of these categories. So this is going to just be the average for each of these categories. Now, we should probably know how to do that. It's just going to be 60 plus 90 plus 50 plus 70, and then all divided by 4 because there's 4 items in that category. So 67.5 is the average in that category. Okay, let's do it again. For the quiz category, 40 plus 30 plus 70 divided by, and there's 3 things in that category, so 46.6. I'm going to put 0.7. Okay, let's look at the exam category. 60 plus 50 plus 45 plus 70 divided by 4, and it's 56.3. And then the final exam category is 75. So each of these categories has the different weightings. Coursework has a rating of 5. Quizzing has 15. Exams has 60, and final exam has 20. Now, these are the weightings for the different categories. So, if we are adding all of them together, okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to divide by 5 plus 15 plus 60 plus 20. Well, notice this should always equal 100% because we're talking percent, so total it should equal 100% if we're doing the entire course. So let's go ahead and write this all out very carefully. So you'll notice that we are breaking up each category and adding the category weighting, to each of those. All right, so we have this now. So it is 67.5 plus 15, and then in brackets 46.7 plus 60, 56.3 plus 20, 75 over 100%, and we get 59.16% as the overall mark for this student. Now, this you can only calculate at the end of the course, but what happens if you don't have the final exam category? Well, it's actually pretty simple. It's going to be very similar, okay? But the difference being, if without the final exam category, everything else stays the same. Plus 15, 46.7, plus 60, 56.3. But now when you add 5 plus 15 plus 60, we end up with 80 on the bottom. So instead of dividing by 100, because we're not including that final exam category, because there's nothing in there yet, we're going to divide by 80. So very similar thing. We're just going to go back to here and do a little bit of work to delete this stuff. And now that should give us our new answer. So the final exam actually improved this person's mark. I just made up these percentages. This is no one's actual mark. But the final exam improved the person's mark by 4%. So you can see how a weighted average works here. There's a bunch of different steps, but hopefully you can see that you could get rid of any category you wanted and go through the same process. Hopefully you can see how this would work with another class other than my one category. All you do is you change these green numbers here. Or remove categories and add categories or whatever else. All right, I hope this video helped you better understand weighted averages, and good luck.